Welcome, gentle listener, to Sleepy Facts. Here, knowledge moves at the pace of your breath, and curiosity lies down beside rest. Let your shoulders fall, let the day unbutton itself, and let your thoughts float like small boats in a calm cove. This is your quiet harbor where learning feels like sleep, and sleep feels like coming home. Beyond the hum of daylight, a softer world waits. Set the jaw loose, widen the breath, and listen for the hush inside the hush. Imagine night air touching the surface of water, the sky lowered to meet the sea, the horizon a long, slow exhale. Waves rise and erase themselves again and again like a gentle memory rewriting its edges. Here sound becomes velvet. Here time spreads out like moonlight. We drift together toward the blue, toward a living library older than mountains, where each tide is a heartbeat and each current a quiet sentence. We will follow that sentence into the great breathing body of the ocean, not to conquer it, not to catalogue it, but to be held by it. Let the world loosen. Let the water begin. Beneath the first veil of light, the sea keeps history as if time were a cool preserving hand. The surface remembers wind. The depths remember centuries. There are more artifacts sleeping underwater than upon the land amphorae, resting in silt coins stilled in their final bright gesture, whole cities pressed gently by the weight of salt and quiet. Ports went under as shorelines shifted. Ships sank like slow stars. Pavements and hearths and tools found a second life in the dark. In low oxygen and steady cold wood does not hurry to rot. Metal does not rush to dust. Modern eyes sonar, sweeping like a soft lantern. Robots that breathe electricity instead of air have begun to map these hidden rooms of the past. Every scan returns a whisper the sea keeps, the sea preserves. The sea is a patient curator of everything that falls to it. Drifting deeper, color softens. Blue leans toward indigo, then ink, then the tender black where light becomes a rumor. Here time behaves differently. Certain jellyfish fold life backward, slipping from age into youth, their cells remembering the way home to an earlier dawn. Turritopsis dochni, a name like a bell inside water, pulls its story tight and begins again, an immortal loop unless fate or hunger interrupts. Truth rests quietly in that glow. The ocean knows how to begin without end, how to carry possibility through darkness. Nearby, the water teaches adaptability with a gentle firmness. Fish change who they are to meet the choreography of their world. A clownfish born male, later becoming female when the matriarch's light goes out. A wrasser crossing the threshold in the other direction, wearing new colors, taking a new role in the reef's slow play. Identity in the sea is a current, not a wall. Body follows need. Community writes the rules. Survival is a soft negotiation with the moment. Listen, beneath us rises a mountain range more vast than any ridge under open sky. Mid-ocean ridges encircle the planet, a stitched seam of lava and stone, more than 65,000 kilometers long, new crust extruding like warm breath where plates drift apart. We do not see these peaks, yet they shape the pathways of current, the neighborhoods of life, the arithmetic of heat and salt. The earth writes itself here slowly, and the ocean reads the script line by line. In the shallower blue, a forest stands upright in water taller each dawn. Giant kelp reaches for light, with a speed that feels like a secret, more than a meter in a day when conditions bless it. Whole communities anchor to those rising columns, fish sheltering like thoughts under green canopies, invertebrates threading bead-bright along fronds, otters rolling like commas in the sentence of the swell. Kelp takes carbon out of air by way of light, braiding it into its own quiet body. When it loosens and drifts downward, it carries the day's breath toward the dim places where time is long. Gold lives here too, not gathered in pockets, but dissolved into the very skin of the sea, a thin, ungraspable shimmer spread across all basins, more in total than mines have pulled from earth. It moves in from rivers and vents, and the slow wash of stone too faint to hold too wide to claim present like a blessing you can't spend. We let that image rest wealth that exists best, as idea as rhythm, as a quiet message inside water. Now imagine the floor dropping away. The Mariana Trench opens like a single long breath held for millennia, nearly 11 kilometers deep. If Everest lay down inside it, the mountain's bright peak would wear water as a heavy crown. Pressure here is 1,000 times the surface's gentle hand. Heat is a memory. Light is a story from somewhere else. And yet life speaks in small lamps. Shrimp bead with blue fire jellies script green on the black page, and fish carry their own stars to write with. Where volcanic vents mouth off minerals and heat communities, flower without sunlight, building a food web on chemistry alone. The Earth's heart leaks warmth. Bacteria translate it into energy. Tube worms rise like white candles in a cathedral that never knew a dawn. It is humbling to learn that life does not require the sun, only a source, only a way. The ocean's memory is also movement. A slow conveyor guided by differences in warmth and salt carries surface stories to depth and brings deep news home again. Warm, salty waterheads poleward, cools, grows heavy and sinks, beginning a long shadowed journey that may take centuries to close the loop. This is climate's soft machinery heat, shared nutrients, ferried balance, maintained in the quiet industry of current. To feel the sea from shore is to touch only the skin. Beneath, an unseen circulation keeps faith with the world. In this vastness live beings that outsize the myths about dinosaurs. Blue whales pass like moving horizons, 30 meters of grace, 200 tons of hunger, made gentle by krill, their colossal hearts, sculpting a rhythm big enough for legends. Their voices cross basins, songs elongated into geography messages, unraveling through salt and depth until a distant ear answers. In a universe so large, it comforts the mind to know that call and response survives in water. Salinity, too, has its quiet mosaics. Some seas evaporate and taste stronger for it. Others sip from rivers and keep their salt softer. Density shifts, layers form. Currents slip between one another like silk on glass. The ocean learns its own weights and balances, and life follows those invisible lines, finding homes exactly where chemistry fits the body's key. Reefs rise from patience and partnership. Tiny coral polyps build calcium skeletons, and within them live the sunlight makers algae that paint energy from day into sugar. Together, they construct cities that cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, yet cradle a quarter of its known species. Fish, like bright syllables, fill the grammar of crevices. Crabs hide the moon in their shells. Turtles rest like old thoughts returning. Some reefs have been growing for 10,000 years, and more long enough to feel like memory made stone. The Great Barrier Reef, stretches for around 2,300 kilometers, a living structure so large that astronauts can point to it through the atmosphere's lens. Reefs break waves before they break shores. They feed families. They keep cultures whole. They are also tender to heat and to the slow drift of acid in water. When the balance tips corals pale, a white ache spreading across a once-colored city. Rescue here is not a single act, but a habit to cool the day, to clear the water, to let the partnership breathe again. The surface of the sea is a mirror and a lung. It reflects a small part of sunlight back to space and trades gases with the sky. In that exchange, microscopic plants, phytoplankton, shivering green dust, perform a daily miracle. They conjure oxygen from light and carbon, and more than half the air we breathe carries their quiet signature. When they bloom, satellites can see the ocean's skin change color, the planet itself blushing with productivity. When conditions sour, some blooms turn harmful, and caretaking becomes necessary to read the water, to steady the cycles, to protect the breath makers at the root of so much life. There is more life in the ocean in total than on land. More shapes, more strategies, more slow astonishments. From viral drifts invisible to our eyes governing microbial kingdoms and recycling the very fabric of existence. To whale song unfurling past the continental shelf, the sea holds many libraries at once. Otters float on their backs and crack open dinner with stone sculpture, passing from mother to child, a lesson wrapped in fur and tide. Sea stars hurt in the rough arithmetic of survival, regrow what was taken. Sometimes an entire new star writes itself from a single arm. Squid keep jetpacks in their bodies, pulling water in and pushing it out to vanish from danger backward, like a sentence withdrawing its final word. Some fish wear ultraviolet secrets, signs and signals we cannot read, flashing along scales to say, I am here, I am yours, this is my edge of reef. Sharks listen with a sense tuned to the faint electricity of beating hearts, finding prey by reading weather inside flesh. Turtles carry a map drawn by the planet's magnetic field, navigating blank blue miles to the exact beach where their story began. And whales speak across distances that redraw the meaning of far. Even the ocean floor gently snows. From the bright surface falls a slow drift, marine snow of plankton husks, tiny fecal beads, fragments of day surrendering to night. Down in the hush, this is rain, this is bread, this is a contract with the dark. The abyssal plain among the flattest landscapes on Earth receives this quiet weather and turns it into life again. The ocean is also weathermaker and climate holder. Its currents carry warmth that softens winters and ocean away. Its storms gather strength from surface heat. Its ice brightens the planet by reflecting light back outward. When sea ice thins, dark water drinks more sun and warms further a feedback loop that needs our listening. When glaciers and ice sheets melt, the sea rises into the lives of coasts. Salinity shifts currents wobble, and the planet's careful choreography asks for gentler hands. There is wealth here beyond metal and fuel mangroves that catch the land before storms can take it, filtering salt at the root. Seagrass meadows stitching carbon into mud. Kelp forests muffling waves so shores can sleep. Some days the sea glows bioluminescent algae turned to stardust by the stroke of a swimmer's arm, a blue-green gasp with every footstep in the shallows. At other times, It speaks sorrow-plastics ground down to grains, mistaken for food. Microscripts of human haste carried into every layer, every gut. Yet even here, solutions begin as quietly as problems did. Bacteria finding ways to unwrite polymers. People learning to unlearn waste. More than 80% of this world of water remains unvisited by us, unmapped, unknown trenches. Like long thoughts, no one has had ridges still cooling from the planet's interior canyons, deeper than the ones wind carved in air. It is good sometimes that mystery survives. It leaves room for humility, for care, for patient science that moves without shouting. You might hear somewhere in the dark the pulse of distant waves born of winds that blew 3 storms ago. You might hear the steady tapping of a crab that borrowed an anemone for its shield, the two of them bound in a soft contract of stings and shelter. You might hear a barrel sponge living across centuries, filtering day from water, archiving chemistry in rings of tissue the way a tree keeps time in wood. Even the smallest microlayer at the surface, a film as thin as a thought, hosts communities that steer exchanges with the sky shaping clouds, shaping rain. And always the rhythm returns, tide, current, breath. The ocean does not hurry. It circulates. It does not demand. It sustains. It does not forget. It keeps. Rest here with these truths, that artifacts sleep unbroken in salt, that some creatures begin again when the world says age, that mountains greater than legend rise where no human foot has walked, that forests of kelp grow like time-lapse dreams and cradle nurseries of fish, that gold gleams invisibly in solution and cannot be hoarded by a single hand, that the deepest trench still makes room for life to glow, and vents without sunshine build families out of heat, that currents thread the globe with patience and whales sow ocean to ocean with song, that reefs are living cities both sturdy and tender, and the Great Barrier Reef writes its long line beneath satellites and storms, that tiny plants make our oxygen and their floating gardens tint the sea like a watercolor seen from space, that more life lives here in every direction than we have named, that the dead flat plains and the snow that feeds them are proof of a cycle intact, that ice and storm and warmth and salt compose a music we all live inside. Let your breath match the small waves in your mind. Inhale with the lift. Exhale with the fall. What needs to be remembered will stay. What needs to fade will go out with the tide. The ocean is not one voice, but millions whispering in the languages of salt pressure and light. Each region, each layer hums its own quiet song. Near the poles, sea ice thickens like a glass lid, and below it, life moves in soft rhythm, waiting for the sun to return. In the tropics, coral reefs shimmer like stained glass cathedrals, built grain by creatures too small to see, yet powerful enough to shape coastlines. Everywhere, the water holds balance between light and dark heat, and cold life and stillness. There is a place deep below where the water grows heavy and slow, the twilight zone. Between 200 and 1,000 meters, sunlight drifts down like smoke and fades into an everlasting dusk. Here fish have lanterns built into their bodies. Eyes widen to swallow the last threads of light. Many creatures drift upward each night, feeding near the surface, before sinking back into quiet a migration so vast it is called the planet's hidden heartbeat. They live in half-light suspended between two worlds where blue never ends. Some of these beings are chemists and artists at once. In the deep, dark bioluminescence reigns light born from reaction energy made visible. Jellyfish glow like moon fragments. Squid pulse in flashes of green and gold. An anglerfish dangles a living star from its forehead, luring meals out of invisibility. Each spark is both defense and conversation, the sea's Morse code in pure radiance. To see this light show is to understand that even in absence, creation continues. The ocean does not surrender to darkness, it paints with it. Drifting closer to the seabed, we find the forests of coral kelp and seagrass that anchor so much of the ocean's breath. Seagrass meadows stretch across shallow bays, weaving their roots into sand, catching sediment, trapping carbon. They are among Earth's richest carbon vaults, holding centuries of atmosphere beneath calm water. Mangrove forests line tropical coasts, trees standing on stilts roots dipping into brine. They sip salt and filter it, storing the excess in old leaves that later fall away like sighs. Mangroves tame waves before they reach shore shelter young fish and store more carbon per acre than the grandest rainforest. They are quite literally the Earth's green lungs that breathe water instead of air. But there are forests too. Beneath the colder seas, the kelp forests swaying with a rhythm like slow music. They grow in cool, nutrient-rich currents, their long fronds streaming upward towards sunlit ripples. Otters weave through them, cracking shellfish on their chests with smooth stones, teaching generation after generation how to use a tool. Fish glide in their shade, sea urchins graze at their feet, and sunlight filters down in green threads. Each movement here is circular. Balanced, the kelp feeds, shelters, and breathes life into the sea that holds it. In other parts of the world, the ocean writes with fire. Thousands of underwater volcanoes scatter the seabed, their mouths glowing orange where magma meets the freezing deep. The eruptions build new mountains, new islands, even entire continents underfoot. From their vents, streams of mineral-rich water pour out, feeding life that has never seen the sun. Hydrothermal vent fields burst with color-white crabs, red-plumed worms, strange translucent fish. They live not from photosynthesis, but chemosynthesis energy drawn from chemical reactions deep within the earth. Where heat meets pressure, the impossible thrives, a quiet defiance written in smoke and shimmer. Above, the world breathes through a global current called the thermohaline circulation, the ocean's slow, steady heartbeat. Warm water flows northward, cold, dense water sinks and drifts south along the abyssal plains. It is a conveyor of climate and time, carrying nutrients, carbon and warmth through every corner of the sea. When we stand on a beach and feel the breeze off the waves, we are feeling this immense machine at work, its rhythm unseen yet constant, a pulse older than humanity. Listen closer, the ocean has sound. Not just waves, but songs, long, low frequencies that roll through the deep. Whales sing to one another across continents, their voices stretching thousands of miles. Each species with its own dialect, each song an echo of belonging. Sperm whales click and pulse through darkness, their brains the largest on Earth. Blue whales moan in tones so deep they are felt more than heard. Humpbacks compose patterns that change every year, songs that ripple through generations. Even after the singer has moved on, the melody remains traveling through water, like a memory that refuses to fade. Above and below there is gold, not the kind that glitters, but the kind that sustains. The sea holds 20 million tons of dissolved gold, too thinly spread to gather but enough to remind us that even the invisible can be abundant. It also holds the true wealth of life plankton, corals, microbes, fish whales, more species than land has ever known. Every drop of water carries a fraction of this biodiversity, a living archive that never stops writing. The ocean breathes carbon too, pulling nearly 30% of what humans release into the air. It stores 20 times more than the atmosphere itself, tucked into the skeletons of plankton and the drift of sinking debris. When a phytoplankton blooms at the surface, it feeds not only the fish that nibble it, but the planet's balance as well. When it dies and drifts downward, it becomes part of marine snow, a slow, endless rain of organic dust falling into eternity. Down there, the snow becomes nourishment, life continuing quietly in the dark. The abyssal plains receive this gift, vast flat stretches miles below where pressure is immense and stillness almost complete. Yet even here the sediment wriggles with worms and sea cucumbers, small custodians that clean and recycle the ocean's remains. They feed on detritus and return nutrients to the water, stirring oxygen into the seafloor. Without them, the dark would fill with rot. With them, the circle stays unbroken. Above these plains, the trenches run deeper still. The Mariana, the Tonga, immense valleys that make the Grand Canyon look like a scratch upon stone. In these trenches, robotic explorers find jellyfish, like glass chandeliers, fish with transparent skulls, creatures glowing in colors unseen by daylight eyes. Pressure here would crush steel, yet life adapts, unfolding delicate fins, slow eyes, bioluminescent hearts. It seems the sea teaches one lesson over and over: that resilience wears the shape of calm. But the ocean is not untouched. In its drifting layers, microplastics move unseen particles of human haste, carried by currents into every bay and trench. Tiny fish mistake them for food. Plankton absorb them. Whales swallow them. Through the web of life, the fragments climb until they rest again in us. Yet hope glimmers too in new bacteria, learning to digest plastic, in the slow realization that every act of care ripples outward, like a wave that never fully breaks. Still beneath all noise, the ocean continues its patient work. Its surface reflects 6% of the sun's light, enough to cool the planet, enough to steer weather across continents. It evaporates into clouds and returns as rain, closing the loop of rivers, storms and tides. From this cycle, deserts bloom and forests drink. The air we breathe has touched the ocean first. In tropical nights, sea sparkle appears bioluminescent algae, lighting the edges of waves, turning each movement into magic. Step through the shallows, and your footprints ignite like stars. It is life expressing wonder, a chemical song written in blue. The sea also shelters its dangers, beauty and peril side by side. Stonefish resting like pebbles, venom sharp as lightning. Box jellyfish fragile and translucent, carrying death in a single brush. Cone snails with barbed harpoons, using venom that scientists now study to heal pain and heart disease. Even in danger there is mystery, even in venom medicine. The ocean is never simply one thing. It is a balance of opposites eternally at rest within its own motion. Far above these depths, seabirds trace invisible highways over waves. Albatrosses and petrels ride the wind, gliding thousands of miles without a single wing beat. They follow the ocean's currents as though reading its invisible handwriting, returning to nests on distant cliffs, guided by memory, by magnetism, by trust. Below, salmon cross from rivers to sea, and back again, shifting their bodies to survive the change from fresh to salt. Sea turtles navigate by the Earth's magnetic field, finding the very beaches where their own eggs once lay. Every creature is a pilgrim, and the ocean their map. At times, the water grows ill. Dead zones form where oxygen disappears, the aftermath of our waste of fertilizers that run downstream, feeding algal blooms that starve the water of breath. These patches spread silently, dimming once lively regions of sea. But in every ecosystem, life finds ways to repair currents, bring fresh water, oxygen returns, and balance. Though wounded, remembers how to heal. Each fact of the ocean is both science and psalm. Each truth a reminder that we are and have always been mostly water-walking seas that think, dream, and return to salt. Every drop within us once touched the tide. To know the ocean is to know the body's memory of home. So breathe, now slow and even. The same rhythm that moves the tide moves through you. Inhale, feel the swell. Exhale, feel the release. What remains unspoken will drift with you into rest. The sea is still working. The world is still turning. And you are floating safely between them. The ocean, vast as time itself, has moods that move like dreams. It hums in deep tones we cannot hear, breathing out mist and pulling in moonlight. Its surface might seem simple, a glittering skin, a mirror for the sky. But beneath it folds itself into layers of density and different soft chemistry shaping the world's weather. Salt pressure, heat, these are the alphabet of the sea, and every current is a sentence written in motion. Somewhere near the equator, the Red Sea holds one of the highest salt concentrations on Earth. Water evaporates quickly under the sun's gaze, leaving behind the mineral's heavy flavor. Far north, the Baltic Sea whispers a softer note. Freshwater rivers feed it, and so its taste is gentler, its surface light. These contrasts feed circulation. Dense water sinks, fresh water floats, and the world's ocean begins its slow, endless turning. This rhythm, the planet's liquid heartbeat, balances. Climates weaves warmth from one hemisphere to another and sustains the living engine we depend upon without knowing it. Let's drift downward again past the continental shelf into the deep sea plains that stretch for thousands of kilometers. The abyssal plains, so flat, so wide, lie under the crushing weight of thousands of meters of water. They are silent, almost featureless, and yet alive. Sea cucumbers crawl across the sediment, digesting the world's fallen dust. Dead plankton fish bones, traces of once bright life. By feeding, they cleanse the sea floor, breaking decay into nourishment. Each grain that passes through them returns to the cycle. Oxygen, renewed, balance restored. They are the quiet janitors of eternity, working in darkness where no sunlight has ever reached. Above these plains rise undersea canyons, chasms carved by ancient rivers when the sea was young. The Monterey Canyon in California descends deeper than the Grand Canyon itself. Down its slopes glide ghostly fish, delicate as breath and soft corals that sway without sound. Currents funnel nutrients through these valleys, carrying food downward, feeding life in every hidden pocket. Every canyon is a lung of the ocean pulling and pushing the deep's quiet air. And farther still, along the seams of tectonic plates, hydrothermal vents continue their slow eruption. They hiss out black smoke, rich in minerals. Where the vents bloom, the dark glows faintly with color. Reds, whites, blues, creatures strange as imagination itself. Tube worms stand tall, feeding on the bacteria that feast on sulfur. Here, sunlight has no dominion. Here, the earth itself feeds its children. Chemistry replaces light, and life, ever patient, accepts the bargain. The ocean has always been both giver and mirror of the world above. When we pollute the air, it absorbs our breath. When we release too much heat, it drinks the fever and grows warmer by degree. For over a century, the surface temperature of the sea has climbed gentle but relentless. The corals notice first, their colors fading, like old dreams, leaving pale skeletons behind. Fish travel northward, seeking cooler waters, rewriting the maps of migration that had been written for millennia. And storms fed by warmer seas grow taller, hungrier, more certain of their reach. The ocean changes, and with it, so do we. But change is not only loss. There are miracles here, still small, quiet, selfless ones. Marine bacteria that nibble at plastic waste, digesting our excesses, molecule by molecule. Algae that bloom and turn sunlight into oil, promising new energy without fire or smoke. Tiny viruses, invisible and countless, that regulate life in perfect balance, keeping the ocean's populations in harmony. Every microbe and current, every unseen force, works together to maintain the living silence that holds us all. Even the tides are teachers. They pull and return, never tired, never in conflict. Their motion times the lives of creatures that depend on precision: crabs who mate when the moon is high, fish who spawn when the waves whisper yes. Corals too release their eggs in sync with lunar rhythm. Entire reefs pulsing with life, at once a bright snowfall under the sea. Each synchronized birth, each rhythmic release, speaks of a language older than speech. It is how the ocean remembers itself, and the moon, ever faithful, listens. Its pull shapes not only tides, but the breath of all who live by the coast, fishermen, seabirds, and dreamers. The moon and the sea dance together, patient and perfect, a partnership carved into the rhythm of time. At the ocean's heart, enormous creatures drift. Whales, sharks, rays, the slow monarchs of this underwater kingdom. Great white sharks patrol with unhurried grace, apex predators whose calm hides power. They live long, reproduce slowly, and guard the balance of their realms. The blue whale, larger than any creature to have ever lived, glides through blue cathedrals of light. Her voice travels for thousands of miles. Her heart beats so deep it can be heard as thunder underwater. Even in solitude, she is part of a chorus, and her song joins those of countless others, the living heartbeat of the sea. Whales are also memory keepers. Inside their calls, scientists have found structure refrains, verses, rhythm. When one whale begins a new song, others join until oceans echo the same melody. The pattern drifts across years, changing, adapting, always continuing. It is proof that culture exists in the deep past, from body to body, voice to voice. All of this, the mountains beneath, waves, the forests of coral, the endless murmuring of whales, rests upon an unseen chemistry that ties it together. Salt is not simply taste, it is balance. Volcanoes exhale minerals that drift into rivers and flow to the sea. Rocks dissolve over eons, carrying traces of land into the ocean's veins. Water evaporates, leaves the salt behind, rains again, and the cycle turns. Through all this, the ocean keeps its salinity steady, a careful equilibrium that has held for millions of years. Life evolved inside this constancy, and the salt that runs in our own blood is its echo. At the edge of continents, mangroves and seagrass carry out their quiet miracles. Their roots hold soil that would otherwise slip away. Their branches cradle nests. Their shadows hide fish fry no longer than a fingernail. When storms come, these forests bend but do not break. They shield the land behind them, taking the force of waves into their arms. Their patience is protection. Their simplicity is genius. Out on open waters, jellyfish bloom vast trembling veils stretching for miles. At times, they arrive in such numbers that the sea itself seems to pulse. They drift without choice, guided by current and temperature, feeding on whatever floats their way. Some see them as a warning of imbalance, of warmer waters, of disappearing predators. But they too are part of the rhythm, a natural pulse that waxes and wanes through eras. For even chaos in the ocean has its pattern. And far away, the blob, a great patch of warm water, once spread across the Pacific. It changed the migration of fish, shifted weather on land, and reminded us that everything is connected. A warm patch in the ocean can mean rain in one country, drought in another. Such is the ocean's quiet authority, unseen, yet sovereign over every cloud and breeze. There are mysteries even deeper than heat and salt, magnetic whispers felt by creatures who navigate the blue. Sea turtles find their birthplace again through invisible lines of magnetism. Salmon swim from river to ocean and home again, their bodies remembering what the water forgets. Whales sense the same field following its pull across hemispheres. The earth guides them as gently as a parent's hand. Even among the smallest beings, the ocean displays wonder. Some sea slugs steal the chloroplasts of algae and keep them in their own cells, turning sunlight into food. Animals that borrow from plants, a union impossible on land, yet ordinary beneath waves. Every adaptation here is both strange and perfect, designed by patience and shaped by pressure. The ocean is also painter, sculptor, and storyteller. Coral skeletons grow in layers, recording time like tree rings. Scientists read them to trace the history of temperature storm and change each layer a syllable in the planet's diary. And all of it, every fact and fossil and flicker of light, continues its work without hurry. The sea doesn't need an audience. It teaches simply by being. We have walked along its edge for thousands of years, and still we know almost nothing. 80% of the ocean remains unexplored, a statistic that humbles even the boldest mind. Somewhere down there, new species drift unnoticed. Somewhere, ancient shipwrecks sleep intact, their wood preserved, their cargo undisturbed. Somewhere, pressure and darkness hide landscapes, no one has yet imagined. In this age of light, mystery is a gift, the last untouched dream. So let us stay with that feeling here at the surface, breathing in rhythm with the waves. Let the facts settle not as lessons, but as lullabies. You are made of the same water that falls as rain, freezes as snow, and returns as tide. You are not outside of the ocean story. You are one of its sentences still unfolding. Rest now in that knowing. Let the tides inside you match the tides of the world. The ocean continues its work steady and serene. The whales are still singing. The corals are still building. And the light above the water still dances to the wind. Breathe, drift, dream. The ocean dreams, even when we do not. It hums through night and daylight, under the pull of moons, under the passing of storms. Every second its waters move. In patterns older than thought, a long conversation between wind temperature and gravity. To listen is to hear the earth thinking softly to itself. At dawn, the surface shivers awake, small waves tracing silver on the horizon. Each ripple is a messenger carrying energy from faraway winds. Some were born in storms, half a world away, crossing whole oceans without losing strength. These traveling waves called swells arrive like music, long after the concert has ended, whispering the memory of wind to every shore. Even a breeze light as breath can start a chain that ends in thunder. In this way, all movement is connected. A storm in the Pacific can leave its fingerprint on sand in California. A whisper in one place becoming a rhythm in another. And below, life moves with equal grace. In the midwater darkness, small fish sparkle when disturbed stars shaken loose from night. Bioluminescent creatures flash, fade, and flicker again, speaking in light where words cannot reach. Some shine to lure prey, others to hide by mimicry, some to call their kin through the black. There are entire worlds that bloom in color no human eye has ever seen. For all our satellites and sensors, much of the ocean still keeps its poetry secret. Among these quiet lights, the slow giants roam. The blue whale, largest animal ever to live, glides through leagues of water without hurry. Her heart weighs as much as a car, her pulse deep and slow, a drumbeat echoing across miles of emptiness. She opens her mouth to gather krill billions of tiny bodies eating tons each day, yet harming none. Despite her enormity, she is gentleness incarnate, living proof that size need not mean violence. Her songs ripple through the depths for thousands of miles, perhaps messages, perhaps simple being. Whatever their purpose, they remind us that communication need not be loud to be profound. Above her, seabirds carve invisible paths along the wind. Albatrosses lock their wings and glide for hours without a single beat, traveling entire oceans on one gust's generosity. Their journeys connect continents. Their grace shows the art of effortless endurance. And below them, sea turtles trace invisible lines of magnetism across the planet, traveling back to the exact beaches where they were born. They read the earth itself, sensing its fields and inclinations as surely as we feel gravity. Every creature here carries a compass, written in its cells, a faith older than maps. Somewhere closer to shore, mangroves spread their roots through warm, shallow water. They stand like green cathedrals, branches reaching skyward, while roots braid themselves into silt. Each tree filters salt, and traps sediment, turning chaos into structure. In their shade, young fish hide from predators. Crabs scuttle across the mud, writing runes no one can read. When storms strike, mangroves receive the waves first, their tangled roots softening the blow before it reaches land. They are guardians of the coast, silent, ancient, uncelebrated. Without them, erosion and flood would claim much more than sand. Deeper down, forests of seagrass stretch like submerged meadows. Blades of green sway with the pulse of the tide, absorbing carbon, exhaling oxygen, and anchoring the sediment below. These meadows are among the planet's most powerful carbon sinks, holding more per acre than rainforests. Small fish weave through them, turtles graze on their tips, and light scatters through their leaves in rippled gold. Even in silence, the meadows breathe hope into the sea. Beyond them, reefs shine again. Built from coral polyps, no bigger than grains of rice, they form vast architectures of living stone. Some are ancient beyond comprehension. 10,000 years of steady building, slow as thought. They host a quarter of all marine species, though they cover less than 1% of the ocean floor. Here the world seems to sing in color, reds, blues, purples, golds, every shade of life shimmering in motion. And yet, this beauty is fragile. When the water warms, corals lose the algae that feed them and turn white, a phenomenon called bleaching quiet, as snowfall tragic as loss. Each time it happens, the sea grows a little quieter. Still, some reefs recover, some polyps endure. They rebuild as life always does, molecule by molecule, year by year. Listen, again, can you hear it? A slow hum beneath all else, steady and sure. That is the ocean's conveyor belt, the thermohaline circulation carrying warmth from tropics to poles, returning cold back to equator. It moves nutrients and oxygen, connects currents into a single looping breath that takes centuries to complete. Without it, climates would falter, coasts would freeze, and the planet's delicate balance would tilt. The sea's patience is what steadies the world. And yet even patience has weight to bear. As ice melts, as salinity shifts, this current may slow. The conveyor that cradles climate could pause, and weather would turn strange rains, where deserts should be heat, where frost should stay. The sea does not rage at us for this. It simply adjusts as it always has. But we can listen better, soften our hands, and remember that care is a form of gravity too. In some corners of the ocean, heat gathers and lingers, the great warm anomalies, like the blob of the Pacific. Such heat changes migration patterns, alters ecosystems, and writes its effects into the sky. Drought storms, unseasonable rain. The sea's temperature is not only its own concern, it is the language of the planet, and every degree speaks. And yet, even as warmth spreads, ice remains a storyteller. In the Arctic and Antarctic Sea, ice covers around 7% of the ocean's surface. It reflects sunlight, keeping the planet cool. When it melts, darker water absorbs more heat, creating a loop of acceleration. Polar bears, seals, penguins all depend on this frozen stage, and as it shrinks, they move, adapt, or fade. Still, each year in winter, the ice grows again, proof that even in loss, there is rhythm. Even in melting, there is memory. Not all the ocean's lights come from sun or star. Sometimes they come from algae, bioluminescent creatures that flash blue when touched. At night, a wave may break and glow, each droplet a lantern. Swimmers leave glowing trails, boats carve fire into the water, and for a moment the boundary between sea and sky disappears. This is the phenomenon called sea sparkle, a living aurora that flickers along the shore. When you see it, you understand the world has not forgotten how to wonder. Under the same moon, jellyfish drift in immense blooms miles wide. They move like translucent thoughts, effortless and slow. Sometimes their numbers swell unsettling balance, clogging nets, crowding bays, but they are not invaders. They are reminders. The sea adjusts itself, constantly expressing its conditions through life. If jellyfish thrive, it is because the ocean is telling us something. The water is warmer, the predators fewer. Even imbalance is a kind of language. Far below, barrel sponges anchor to reefs growing taller than a person, older than entire civilizations. Some are thousands of years old, their bodies filtering hundreds of liters of water each day. Within them live colonies of microbes, each carrying out unseen work, cleaning, cycling, transforming. The sponges record chemical changes in their layers, just as trees record climate in rings. They are the libraries of the deep, storing the ocean's autobiography in silence. Elsewhere, sea stars regenerate what is lost. Cut an arm, and they grow another. Sometimes the arm grows a whole new body. They heal not through magic, but through patience, cell by cell, shape by shape. Nature teaches repair by example, if only we learn to watch. On the sea floor, crabs lift anemones onto their claws, wielding them like living shields. The anemones sting predators. In return, they are carried to feasts and safety. Mutual defense beauty through partnership, one creature lending its gift to another. The ocean thrives not on strength alone, but on cooperation. Everywhere, relationships shimmer in quiet balance. Coral and algae, crab and anemone whale, and current, wind and tide. Nothing survives by isolation. Everything depends on everything else. The same truth waits above water too, for us to notice and remember. Even the smallest things, plankton floating at the surface microlayer, connect sky to sea. That fragile film, no thicker than a whisper, exchanges gases, births, clouds, and shapes weather itself. Within it, microbial life works unseen, linking the breath of the ocean with the breath of the atmosphere. We owe every inhale to these invisible architects. When you stand by the shore, looking out to where the horizon blurs, remember, you are not looking at emptiness. You are gazing into infinity, into a body that holds Earth's past, present, and future. The water before you is the same that once touched dinosaurs, the same that carried explorers, the same that falls now as rain. There is no separation, only cycle, only return. So gentle listener, as night deepens and thought slows, let the ocean cradle you once more. Its tides mirror your pulse, its rhythm is your breath. The world continues its slow rotation, water moving, light bending, life evolving. And all of it hums the same refrain: everything is connected, everything is alive, everything belongs. Breathe in, breathe out, let go, drift on. The ocean is a memory with no edges. Every drop holds a trace of what came before: the tears of rain, the blood of mountains, the whisper of ancient rivers long returned to salt. To touch it is to touch time itself, endlessly recycled, endlessly new. Even now, as you breathe a molecule of water, once moved through the gills of a fish, once floated beneath Arctic ice, once rose into a monsoon's heart. The sea connects all things that live across continents, centuries, and dreams. Let us drift once more into its depths. The light fades and colors dissolve into shades of thought. Down here, the world glows from within. Creatures make their own stars, scattering light in the dark, the way poets scatter words into silence. The anglerfish hangs its luminous lure patient, as meditation waiting for life to come close enough to understand its purpose. Jellyfish pulse in ghostly blues, their bodies transparent, their motion like breathing. Schools of shrimp sparkle red, invisible to predators who cannot see that color in the dark. Each glow is both signal and defense, beauty and function. Bioluminescence, light from life, is one of the ocean's quiet miracles, a reminder that creation continues even when no eye is watching. In this dark cathedral, volcanoes bloom. They roar not with flame, but with boiling water and minerals pouring into the black. From these vents rise towers of stone and sulfur spewing warmth from the Earth's core. And somehow, impossibly, life gathers here, bacteria feeding on chemicals instead of lightworms, tall as candles, clams white as bone. No sun, no air, no photosynthesis. And yet, a garden. The ocean has no need for permission. It simply invents new ways to live. Far above, at the surface, where sunlight still trembles, life takes on different colors. Phytoplankton drift invisible, yet vital, painting the sea with microscopic forests. They produce more than half the oxygen you breathe a breath, not born of trees, but of water and light. From space, their blooms look like silk patterns spreading across blue, tracing invisible currents. When conditions shift, their beauty can turn dangerous blooms that suffocate fish or turn seas red. Even beauty, when unbalanced, can wound. The sea teaches this gently equilibrium is a kind of love. Every tide brings new music. Dolphins chatter in high whistles. Whales answer in long vowels. Sound travels far underwater, wrapping the planet in invisible threads of communication. Some whale songs can travel thousands of kilometers, their low notes bending through temperature and pressure, bouncing from one layer to another until they reach distant ears. For centuries, sailors mistook these calls for ghosts or gods beneath the waves. In truth, they are simply voices full of longing, kinship, and continuity. The ocean is their sky. Sound is their starlight. Sometimes the songs echo against shipwrecks, those quiet museums of history lying undisturbed in darkness. Roman cargo ships, Viking vessels, modern liners, all rest side by side in the slow sediment of time. In low oxygen and cold, their wooden bones do not decay. Cities too sleep underwater like Pavlopetri in Greece. Streets still lined with doorways no one will pass through again. Technology, gentle and curious now, maps these ruins with sonar and robotic eyes. Each image returned is another chapter of humanity preserved by the sea's stillness. The ocean keeps what we forget. There are deeper lessons hidden in its motion. Currents carry warmth north and cold south, weaving the world together. The Gulf Stream cradles Western Europe in mild winters, while cold upwellings off Peru feed endless fisheries. Each stream feeds another. Each swirl of water affects weather migration. The breath of plankton, even the rise of rain. To trace the ocean's flow is to read the planet's pulse. Sometimes the pulse falters. Too much carbon drawn in, too much heat absorbed. The ocean is generous but not infinite. As it drinks the excess from our burning, its chemistry shifts. Carbon dioxide dissolves, forming acid that eats at the shells of clams, crabs, and corals. The invisible walls that hold marine life together begin to thin. This is ocean acidification, a quiet erosion of structure, molecule by molecule. And yet, even here, life experiments. Some creatures adapt, build stronger shells, or change their timing. Survival becomes art once again. The sea does not despair, it endures. In certain corners, water and oil meet not through human spill, but through nature itself. Natural oil seeps leak from the seafloor, feeding entire ecosystems of bacteria that dine on hydrocarbons. These tiny workers transform poison into possibility, supporting clams, worms, and other creatures that thrive where humans could not breathe. Even in what we call contamination, the ocean finds a rhythm. It never wastes energy. It simply changes the meaning of matter. And so, the patterns continue. There are fish who see ultraviolet light invisible to us, detecting signals and reflections that make their world shimmer with hidden messages. Others generate electricity pulses that light up the dark or warn away predators. Electric rays knife fish and eels carry internal lightning, proving that even in darkness, communication endures. Each adaptation tells the same story. Evolution is patience sculpted by need. In the tropics, coral reefs coordinate their most exquisite act, the mass spawning. Once each year, under a moon of perfect timing, corals across entire reefs release eggs and sperm into the water all at once. The ocean turns into a soft pink snowstorm, billions of tiny lives drifting upward in moonlight. The sight is both chaos and harmony, a planet breathing through its oldest creatures. From this silent storm, new reefs are born. It is the sea's way of renewing its heart. The same rhythm touches every life below. Squid flee predators with sudden jets of water propelling themselves backward like arrows made of light. Crustaceans perform intricate courtship dances, some guarding their young with delicate claws. Sea stars repair what is broken. Sea cucumbers recycle what has died. Even microscopic viruses guide the turnover of nutrients, ensuring nothing truly ends. The ocean's cycle is circular, infinite whole, and through it all, the quiet hum continues, the voice of water meeting gravity of molecules colliding in their endless embrace. No matter where you are in the world, the sound of waves follows you tucked inside your own heartbeat. You are mostly water. The tides live in your blood. Your body remembers the sea even if your mind has forgotten. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine floating in the dark, weightless, supported on all sides by something vast and kind. The surface above glows faintly, the deep below cradled silence. All around you, life glimmers small lights, slow shapes, distant songs. This is what the earth feels when it rests. This is the stillness beneath movement, the calm beneath every storm. The sea continues to breathe. Its mountains rise, its valleys fold, its creatures glide. Nothing is hurried. Everything belongs. And you, gentle listener, belong here, too, adrift among the facts that soothe the truths that sing. The ocean is not something to study tonight. It is something to feel, to float within, to dream beside. Let the knowledge settle like silt, slow and soft. Let the sound of the sea in your mind turn from information into lullaby. The waves are your breath. The depth is your rest. And somewhere out there, far beyond the reach of morning, the ocean dreams you back. Breathe in and think of blue. Breathe out and let go of weight. The world continues to turn, and the tide continues to come home. Nothing is lost. Everything is only returning. Sleep now within the ocean's thought. Let its rhythm guide you towards stillness. And when you wake again, may your heart remember this. Knowledge can be gentle. Science is the melody. Calm is the meaning. The ocean rests, and so may you. Thank you for drifting with Sleepy Facts tonight. Until next time, breathe slow, dream deep, and let the sea hold you. The night sea is not silent, only deeply calm. Beneath the still surface, 1,000 quiet lives move with purpose too soft to see. Tiny plankton drift rising toward moonlight in the slowest migration on Earth, while the deep creatures retreat folding into shadow. Every dusk and dawn, this invisible tide of life flows upward and down again, a planet's pulse measured not in hours, but in breaths. The ocean at night is a cathedral of reflection. The stars above shimmer twice, once in sky, once in sea, and between them the listener floats. If you are lying in bed, now listening, you are that listener. The tide that moves inside your chest is the same tide that moves continents. Your heartbeat and the waves share one rhythm, repeating softly into forever. There are mysteries still waiting under this endless skin of blue. More than 80% of the ocean remains unseen, unmapped, unnamed. Whole mountain ranges, canyons, and plains stretch in perpetual twilight, untouched by light or human eye. For all our satellites and sensors, the deep keeps its secrets not out of malice, but because mystery itself is a kind of peace. Perhaps the ocean understands what we forget, that not everything needs to be known to be beautiful. Even so, explorers send quiet machines downward, small vessels made of metal and light, gliding where no diver could endure. Through their cameras, we've glimpsed life that challenges the imagination. Fish with transparent heads, eyes that gaze upward through glass domes. Sharks older than empires, moving with the same slow dignity as when the world was ice. Jellyfish with tendrils, long as skyscrapers are tall, drifting through darkness like ribbons of thought. Each sighting a whisper from another world that lives beneath our own. The deep sea is Earth's largest habitat by volume. It holds over 90% of the planet's water, and yet it remains quieter than the mind before sleep. Here, gravity presses with 1,000 atmospheres, yet life finds a way soft-bodied, luminescent, patient. Every creature that survives in such conditions is a poem of resilience, a small answer to the question of existence. Above the deep, the ocean works without pause, stitching the world together in loops of current. Warm water rises, cold water sinks, and nutrients spiral upward in places called upwellings. These hidden elevators of the sea bring food from the abyss to the surface, feeding plankton, then fish, then whales, then us. A single bloom of plankton can feed a nation of beings, invisible yet infinite in generosity. It is humbling, isn't it? how something we cannot see sustains everything we know, how smallness is not weakness but the quiet backbone of life. Each droplet holds galaxies of microbes. Each breath of wind carries salt that once touched the heart of the ocean. To live is to be surrounded by connection, the kind too vast to name, too gentle to feel, until you slow down enough to notice. Now the current moves again, tracing the edges of continents. Here are the coral reefs, glowing with memory, pulsing with life. Here are the kelp forests, tall slow dancers swaying to underwater wind. Here are the mangroves' roots reaching into salt-filtering patience from chaos. And farther out, the abyss vast plains where sea cucumbers crawl and worms build tiny tubes of limestone that become reefs themselves. The ocean doesn't separate its beauty. It layers it, one ecosystem flowing into another like verses of an unending lullaby. Sometimes the sea grows restless. Beneath its still face, tectonic plates slide and sigh, releasing sudden tremors. Earthquakes underwater birth tsunamis, waves that travel faster than airplanes carrying the energy of worlds. But even these mighty forces are temporary, folding back into calm as all storms must. After every upheaval, the water smooths itself again, and silence returns. Even power learns to rest. If you listen closely, you might hear rain falling on the sea, 1,000 soft impacts blurring into one. Each drop that lands becomes ocean indistinguishable from what it joins. The same is true for us, gentle listener. We arrive in moments of noise, then dissolve into something larger, quieter, endless. The ocean's patience teaches us how to endure change. It has survived extinction and flood ice, and fire silence and sound. Its chemistry has remained steady for millions of years, balancing the salts that cradle every form of marine life. The sodium in your blood, the chloride on your skin after swimming, they are the sea remembering itself through you. You are, in a very real way, part of its body. And yet, for all its scale, the ocean holds intimacy. A sea otter rolling on its back to crack open a clam, teaching its pup how to do the same. A pod of whales rising in synchrony, their backs catching light like moving islands. A coral polyp dividing tiny and unseen to build a structure taller than mountains. Every gesture here, no matter how small, adds to the harmony. The ocean doesn't rush. It trusts time to finish what it begins. Even now, it works unseen, absorbing carbon from the air, storing heat, feeding clouds, and guiding weather. It is the planet's engine and its cradle, scientist and poet alike. Every storm is born in its breath. Every calm returns to its embrace. When we speak of climate, we are really speaking of the sea. Let's pause here just for a moment. Imagine yourself floating again, supported by water that has traveled through ages to hold you. Your breath rises and falls like tides, drawn by a distant moon. Every exhale is an outgoing wave, every inhale a returning one. In this rhythm, nothing is rushed, nothing forced. You are safe in the vastness. You are quiet within the motion. You are part of the oldest song on earth. Drift here as long as you like. The stories of the sea continue, whether you listen or sleep. Its creatures move, its currents hum, its light flickers in the dark. And somewhere, a blue whale sings again, and the note reaches across oceans, across time, perhaps across your dream. If you stay still enough, You might even feel it, the slow heartbeat of the planet echoing in waves. The sound that says all is connected. The sound that says you belong to the water and it belongs to you. Rest now in that truth. The ocean is still dreaming, and tonight it dreams of you. Thank you for listening, gentle soul. The waves are slowing and the story is almost done. Let the sound fade into silence and let the silence cradle you. You are safe. You are floating. You are home. The sea never ends, only changes its form. It rises as vapor falls, as rain freezes, as snow melts, as rivers, and returns to itself again. Every cloud you've ever watched drift through a summer sky was once the breath of an ocean. Every raindrop that touched your skin once danced with plankton under the moon. We are made of that same ancient water, reshaped and retold through time. When you drink, when you cry, when you sleep, the sea moves through you quietly, faithfully. And perhaps that is the truest lesson of all, that the ocean is not elsewhere. It is within. It lives in the rhythm of your lungs, in the salt of your skin, in the pulse behind your ribs. When you slow your breathing, you are matching its eternal tide in out-rise fall. The same patience that carries continents sits in your chest right now, waiting for you to notice. Imagine the planet from above, blue beyond blue, swirling white clouds like soft breath over water. From this distance, land is only accent. Water is the rule. 70% of the Earth wears this color, yet it holds nearly all the mysteries still unsolved. Scientists have mapped Mars with more precision than our own abyss. We live on a planet mostly unexplored, a secret world beneath our feet, turning quietly beneath the stars. If we could dive through time as easily as through water, we'd find that the ocean has seen every story before us. It watched the first coral grow, the first whale swim, the first light touch a world still cooling from fire. It saw mountains rise, crumble, and fall back into itself. It swallowed cities built by human hands, only to guard them gently for centuries. And still, it waits, patient, rhythmic, alive. The sea is not merely a place. It is a memory of balance. In its depth, nothing is wasted. Every death feeds another beginning. Every drifted shell becomes sediment. Every current becomes nourishment. Even the quiet snowfall of marine snow, the endless rain of life returning to the seafloor, reminds us that endings are only the start of rest. In the ocean, decay is just another kind of light. Far below, the temperature hovers near freezing pressure crushes like the weight of mountains, and yet life continues. Tiny microbes cling to rock and metal, surviving on minerals exhaled by the earth itself. Here, in the absence of sun and sky, we find vitality. It is proof that creation needs no permission, that life finds ways to whisper even in silence. Up near the surface, the sunlight filters through shallows like glass. Seaweed floats in slow choreography. Fish flash in schools, turning as one as if the ocean itself were thinking. A sea turtle breaks the surface to breathe its eyes, reflecting a sky it will never truly know. The air it inhales is the same air you breathe now. The water that cools its shell will someday rise again as rain over your home. There is no separation, only the rhythm of exchange. Do you remember the sound of the tide, that slow inhale and exhale that never truly stops? It has been repeating since before language, before sound had a name. In every culture, it became a lullaby, a meditation, a heartbeat for the human spirit. We build our houses near it. We walk beside it when we grieve. We listen to it when we cannot sleep. The sea reminds us how to be still without stopping, how to move without effort. Sometimes it even speaks in symbols. The shimmer of sea sparkle in warm shallows, the hush after a storm when everything feels forgiven, the strange blue glow that appears in breaking waves, like veins of light under the skin of the world. It tells us over and over that beauty is born from motion and surrender, not control. At the edges of continents, waves break and fade into foam. They whisper against sand, take what they need, and leave gifts in return. Shells, driftwood, seaweed, small traces of faraway places. Each tide writes a message that vanishes before we can read it fully. That is its lesson: to appreciate without possession, to observe without holding on. Even erosion, even loss is a form of grace. Beneath those same waves, sharks glide not as villains, but as caretakers. Their presence keeps balance. Their absence invites chaos. The great white, slow to reproduce, fragile despite its strength, reminds us that power and vulnerability are often one. The ocean's largest predators live not by destruction, but by maintaining harmony, a truth we too often forget. Somewhere deeper, an ancient Greenland shark moves through the cold dark, perhaps 400 years old. It has outlived empires and ice ages, its heart still beating steadily, its body drifting through centuries. It reminds us that longevity is not measured in urgency, but in stillness. To live long is to live slow, and the ocean has always known that. In the quiet, small stories continue crabs carrying anemones for protection, sea stars growing anew from broken limbs, worms building spirals of calcium that shelter whole micro-worlds. Each act, each gesture contributes to the whole. Every creature, no matter how humble, is part of the ocean's continuous kindness. And above them, the air glows. The ocean reflects 6% of the sunlight it receives, a small fraction, yet enough to keep the planet temperate. It shapes clouds, steers winds, and sends rain inland. Every field, every forest, every breath of green depends on that reflection. In this way, the sea nurtures even the lands it does not touch. At night, the sea becomes mirror and memory again. Its surface holds the moon like a thought it doesn't want to lose. The sound of gentle surf is the same sound that moves in our sleep, steady, circular, endless. If you could place your hand on it now, you'd feel not coolness, but recognition. Because the ocean does not separate us from the world, it connects us to it. And when morning comes, when light spreads like gold dust across the horizon, the water glitters, not in celebration, but in calm continuation. The waves do not begin or end. They simply arrive, then go, then return again. So too with us, we wake, we move, we rest, we rise again. All life follows this same tide. So as you lie there, soft and still, remember, the sea is holding the weight of the sky. The sky is holding the breath of the sea. And you, floating somewhere between them, belong perfectly to both. In the hush that follows, listen. You may still hear the echoes of the whale's long songs. the delicate tapping of shrimp beneath coral, the sigh of water folding back onto sand. That is the sound of the world remembering itself. Stay here in this rhythm. Let your thoughts ebb out like the tide, slow and steady. Let your breath flow with the waves that live inside you. Everything that mattered today can drift for now. The sea will hold it safely until morning. Sleep deeply, gentle listener. Dream of salt air, of drifting light, of the pulse of the planet that never stops breathing. The ocean is vast, but it has made room for you, a small miracle of rest within its endlessness. When you wake, the tide will still be turning. The water will still be whispering. And this story will continue, whether in the waves or in your dreams. Because the sea does not end. It only changes shape, like sleep, like time, like love. Thank you for listening and for drifting with Sleepy Facts tonight. Until we meet again, may your mind be as calm as the deep your thoughts, as light as foam, and your dreams as endless as the sea. The ocean rests, and now so may you.